Want to show y'all where we are at on our milk. So you guys saw us loading this freezer several months ago with our milk from Allie, and those are muffins. We've got some cheese and stuff in there. We have drank all of the milk. We're down to 1.5 gallons. Allie, you've got to hurry up and have your baby. We're almost out of milk. So that means we're going to be buying milk for a few weeks. It is 1st of March, towards the middle of March. So we're looking at potentially a week or two of buying milk. So I won't say that was terrible. This was our first time to actually have to put up milk. So we've put up milk. We've drank it all, and she's just about to have her baby. So I didn't have quite enough put up. While we were milking, we were drinking it. I was making butter to freeze for this time and putting up milk to freeze for this time. So I think I'm good on my butter. I didn't quite have enough milk frozen. So probably about a week and a half or 2 weeks until she has her baby, we're going to be buying store-bought milk. Mama finally made it to the greenhouse. No, seriously. The kids are going to cousin day. You know, the big cousins are all about rocking some baby. So all the kids are taken care of, which allowed me to be able to come out and get some stuff planted. Now, I'm not going to just show y'all everything I'm planting, but there were some things I wanted to talk to y'all about. So I ran in to grab the camera. You know, last spring, a lot of people think about planting food for themselves to eat. You know, it's a garden. You plant it, you grow tomatoes and squash and zucchini and watermelons, and you know, you do all that stuff for yourself to eat, and that's great. We have for years. That's just what we've done. But this past fall, you know, we've told y'all, we honestly just got very discouraged with 2020's fall garden. We're having chicken issues with the chickens getting into our beds, seeds that just did not sprout. It was just not a good season for us. So 2021 rolls around, and y'all know that we've all just experienced a super hard freeze. Now I want to show you some of the loss that we've taken on, but we're gonna make good of that loss. Y'all see my aloe. We had heat lamps in here. Now usually you have heaters too, but y'all see how much I have divided my aloe. I mean, you're talking plants just that I've lost, just buckets of plants, which is really a bummer. Moringa here, lost my moringa. I did pull the stems off since they were rooted. I hope that these will come back. If they don't, I do have some more seeds, but you can see that the damage they took on along with the aloe, I mean, it's just like jelly. It's really, really disheartening. I do have a few over here that are still kind of bright green, so I'm hoping that the root system, and they're still poking up this set right here, so I'm hoping that these will survive so that I can grow them up and divide them. But you see what happened to the rest of my aloe. They're like floppy dead. I mean, it's just, oh y'all, we really try. We talked to y'all a little bit. I was gonna do sunflowers again. We've talked to y'all a little bit in 2021 about how it was our goal to not only grow this year to feed ourselves, but we were really gonna try to focus on growing things that our animals will eat. So that's what I'm in the greenhouse doing today. I'm currently planting sunflower seeds, which are good for multiple animals. Our pigs, our chickens will eat them, but also our pollinators. Okay, they're food for the pollinators. So much that we can do with just the sunflower seeds. I also have marigolds planted over there. And those will also be for the bees. When they get done, of course, we can feed those leftovers to the chickens as well. I'm hoping. I will have to do my research on that, make sure that they are safe. But I would think that I could grind those up and add those into some chicken feed. So that's kind of been our goal this year. That's what I've been out doing in the greenhouse today. Now these are leftover sunflowers from sunflowers that we planted last year. And y'all know that we talk about saving our seeds and whatnot. Here's marigolds. I already have a container of those done. So just so much different purpose this year. You know, we took such a loss like we mentioned last fall. So we're really going to try to do different this year in our spring as far as planting things that are not only good for the bees, good for the ground, will feed us, but will also feed our animals. And that's kind of really what I'm doing today. Is I have several different things out here. We have plans for all of them. So just a different perspective this year. You know, I think it's good sometimes to try to have a big perspective, and that's just going to kind of be what we focus on this year, is not be so single minded of just growing food for ourselves, but trying to grow things that we don't have to baby as much, like tomatoes and stuff like that, and try to really focus on the bigger picture. You know, we feed our animals, we take good care of our animals because ultimately they feed us. So, you know, we're growing to feed them, and thinking that, you know, this bag of soil right here that I'm using just for this time. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. This bag of soil right here, it is pennies on the dollars to when what I'm putting in, and as far as the time and stuff that I'm putting into growing, it's just pennies on the dollar of which you would have to buy sacks of feed. This is something that we are also doing a little bit different this year. Last year I did plant a lot of sage. I planted several sage plants and raised those up. However, none of them went to seed. And because we had such a brutal and harsh winter this year, which is very atypical of our location, I'm planting more this year. And I am using the same kind that I used last year, which was Baker Creek heirloom seed, is the sage broadleaf. Now that we are butchering our own pigs and cutting them up and grinding them up, making our own cuts or whatnot, sage is one of the ingredients that we flavor our sausage with. But really everything we do around here is with intent and with reason. It has purpose behind it. So behind the sage this year will be planting and growing as much as I can. It's very easy to grow. It requires very little time. This past time when you guys saw Colby do the cuts on the pigs, that sage was our sage. So again, we're going back through that process of regrowing again to dehydrate and store, so that we know where our ingredients come from, what's been done to them, what's been put in it, and etc. So that's very, very exciting. One of the things I can tell you guys too, that is a cost-effective way to be able to plant in big trays like this, is reach out to your local nurseries. If you know them personally and you know that harmful chemicals and stuff are not used, there are nurseries that are more organic or have organic sections, and you can ask them for seed trays. I believe as a general rule of thumb in most places that they only use the seed trays once and don't use them again. A lot of farmers, homesteaders, whatever you want to say, kind of do the same thing. Some don't. We are ones that, you know, if you know that there's been any maybe type disease or fungus growing, you could bleach those out as a general rule of thumb if you wanted to do that. But we just check our trays really well before we use them, and reuse them. You know, I have never really had a issue with growing. I think that's a okay thing to do. I guess everybody has their own personal preferences, but for us, if we can get bulk, and I will show you our bulk seed trays in order to save major money and be able to plant things that you want to plant, as far as starts. Because some people like to go, again, you're talking about preference here. Some people like to go straight in the ground. Some people like seed starts. We prefer seed starts. So contact your local nurseries and ask them if they have any trays that they are planning on chunking, that maybe come from their organic section, and see if you can get your hands on some trays for maybe even little to nothing. We got ours for totally for free. We are actually going to be doing a seminar at one of the places where, like I said, we're very good friends with them, and we're going to be doing a seminar on some soil preparations / choosing chickens, rotating animals or whatnot, and we're really excited about that. But because we know them and we kind of know what they use, we feel comfortable enough to reuse their seed trays. So we got all of ours for free. Just planted some parsley here. Have several rows of parsley. Parsley is a great and easy herb that not only we can eat, but is very good for all of our animals here on the farm as well, which is my intent today, like I mentioned. And there are seed trays, several seed trays there, even over here, several down here. We were very blessed to be able to get those for free. Here is some basil that I'm going to be planted. This is some basil I had go to seed. Basil goes to seed after just a few months of it being planted. It gets very mature, puts off some beautiful leaves. Then you're going to see these little flowers like this. Those little flowers, and those little flowers contain little pouches, I guess I could call them. In those little pouches are these tiny seeds. Those tiny little black dots are basil seeds. Basil is not only nutritious, but it is also an herb, again, that is very easy to grow. It is annual. So when it does come, look for those seeds, and get those seeds, because when you get those seeds, you don't have to worry about buying basil anymore. That's a pretty good deal. Buy 1 pack of basil and you can grow it for season after season after season. It is also a companion plant. It is, again, another great, our chickens absolutely love basil, but I can't blame them, I do too. It can be eaten fresh, it can be eaten dehydrated. There's several different beverages you can make, like basil lemonade. So basil is, again, one of those that is so easy to grow, so easy. You can do so much with it, and it's one that seeds really, really quickly. So again, you can have basil for so many seasons off just 1 packet of seeds. And what's even cooler than that is one plant. It takes 1 seed to make 1 plant. And 1 plant, when it goes to seed, makes so many seeds. So my basil plant puts off so many flowers. And sometimes I designate 1 plant. I pick 1 plant that I'm not going to harvest off of, and then I'll let go to seed. And that 1 plant makes so many seeds to make so many more plants. So it's really such a cool thing when you really start thinking about it, that 1 seed can make a plant that will give you so many more plants. Those seeds are very tiny, so all I needed to do was sprinkle just a little bit of dirt over the top. General rule of thumb for anybody that's new planting. The smaller the seeds, the smaller amount of soil needs to go on top. The larger the seed, the more soil needs to go on top. So I had very, very tiny seeds, so I put a very, very tiny amount of dirt on top of them. Purple basil, marigolds, sunflowers, sage. This is half parsley, half my seed of basil, and this is also a whole tray of basil. So got a pretty good bit planted today. As far as seed starts go, very exciting to get some plants going in the greenhouse. It's been a warm one. I've heard birds singing and chirping. Those are always wonderful signs of spring, so super excited about that. Got a lot done today. Hope you guys have things going on your list to get outside, get planting, and happy homesteading, y'all.